How's it going, people? Today I'm going to be talking about Rambo: Last Blood in Blu-ray and 4K. And without any other further ado, let's get straight into the movie itself. This was a movie that I was thinking would never happen. I thought Rambo was going to be it for the Rambo franchise, but they had one last one in the tank. And just to give a little bit of rundown in my thoughts on this one, I thought it was a little needless just because of the fact that I really don't feel like this movie says a whole lot about who Rambo is as a person. And I feel like it kind of is confusing about just what this movie wants to say about Rambo. And, that is unfortunate. I feel like as far as a character study on who Rambo is, this movie kind of does it the worst. But once the action comes into play and they leave a lot of the drama behind that really doesn't work in the movie, I feel like the action really kicks into high gear. I do love the last half hour of this movie. It is very Home Alone, but very, very gory, good, and just really a lot of fun in that way. And I just love the whole entire climax of this movie. And for that, I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. You know what? If you don't like the drama in this movie, you can always just go to the action portions and really get what you want out of this. And as far as the video quality goes, starting off with Blu-ray, because that's where I always start off, this one looks great. This is a movie that is shot all digitally. You can definitely tell there is some grain and grit here, and a lot of that feels artificial, like it was put in post, but it does not detract from the level of detail and clarity here because it is A1 perfect. So much detail goes into Stallone and his very, very just haggard appearance in this movie. You know, the guy's getting old, and you can definitely tell in his face. You can see every pore on his face. It is really damn good. And then when you get into the underground taverns and caverns that he has dug for himself, you can see just so much detail that went into just the individual rooms that he went into and all of that stuff. That is excellent. I will say that some black levels here don't dip all the way to black. They do have a grayish hue to them, and for that, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, though. This is still a really damn good looking Blu-ray. And getting into the 4K copy here, this was actually given a 4K digital intermediate with Dolby Vision support. So they pulled out all the stops on this one, and it comes across just excellent. All the detail that we get in the Blu-ray is just amped up here. You can see every ripple in every character's close-up shots, and every explosion just has particles and all of that good stuff that you want to see. And there's a whole lot of detail there to have. Specifically in the underground scenes, you can see the grains of the dirt that make up the walls in those particular scenes, and that is awesome. But the star of the show here is the HDR and the Dolby Vision here because, you know what, this is something that is really great. I would say that a lot of this movie is very muted, and understandably so, but during the farming scenes where Rambo is with his horses, and it is during the daytime, I would say that the grains of grass and just the overall just look of the entire set during the day is just very lively, very vibrant, and very rich and beautiful. And that is just a really, really great image, and that is enhanced by the Dolby Vision here. On top of that, once you get into the more night scenes, I would say that the black levels are fixed here. And then when you get into the explosions and the all-out action that is in this movie, I feel like a lot of that is amplified by just a bigger and better color palette that the HDR and Dolby Vision can provide, and you can see just more vibrant explosions and all that good stuff that we all want to see from this film. And yeah, this is another 9 out of 10. This is great, people. And getting into the audio, this is all kinds of awesome. We are given a Dolby Atmos track, whether you watch it on Blu-ray or 4K, and that is something that Lionsgate does. I really do appreciate, and it's just really great. You know, bass response here is phenomenal, and you can hear so many levels to the explosions and the soundtrack of the film, and a lot of that just goes a long way with me. Speaker separation is top notch and very aggressive at times, and then surrounds are heavily used, which I always do appreciate. And on top of that, the only thing that I would say that I don't really like about this is the fact that height speakers are used very sparingly. During the end fight is when I really did notice it, during a lot of the big explosion moments, but other than that, I would say that it is very light, and for that I'm going to give it another 9 out of 10. It is still very good. And to go into the digital copy here, this is a typical Lionsgate digital copy, which means that you go to their website, redeem the code, and you can redeem their 4K version right there. And without any other further ado, as far as the special features goes, all of them are on the 4K disc. That is good, but they are very just slim. You know, you get some deleted scenes, and also you get some just very brief production featurettes and theatrical trailer, and that is it. I am still going to give this a 4 out of 5. This is not that much, people. And getting into my last looks at Rambo Last Blood. This movie is a very odd movie in the franchise as far as Rambo goes. This is a very, you know, non-Rambo film. And, you know, that really kicks in at the last half hour where you do get the typical Rambo stuff that you're looking for. But until then, you just kind of have to go along for the ride. And for that, you know what? It isn't my favorite, but I can still enjoy it. When you add up all that together, whether you watch this on Blu-ray or 4K, you get the same score of a 29 out of 40. That is really just because of the fact that this movie isn't the best Rambo movie out there, and the special features were kind of lacking. But if you enjoy this movie, pick it up in Blu-ray or 4K. You won't be disappointed. So coming up next on the channel, if you look at my coming up next little shelf right here, you will see Ad Astra. That is coming up next. I am going to review that right after this video. So if you are excited about that, and if you saw it before my review goes out, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about that, and let me know what you thought about Rambo Last Blood. I know this was one that was requested, so I know some of you are actually excited for this review. Let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.